Alright, this is impossible light activity, where my shadow is appearing above my head. This is not normal light activity, and in addition to that, I've got more than one shadow. If you pay attention, there's more than one shadow there. This is just for regarding the bathroom monitoring that's underway. This is my shadow that's occurring, and I'm in a dark living room. That's impossible light activity, however, not sunlight, meaning it's intentionally placed for the criminal purposes of demons who are group stalking. And that represents what the city of Ontario, what the state of California is engaged in, and it's demonic. And this illuminated light is distinct from what is this illuminated light causing a shadow in the depths of a dark apartment, a dark living room with all the blinds closed. And that's not sunlight either. It's engineered light that is stationary. I capture this same light activity at 7 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. It has nothing to do with the sun, which again is not the sun, because the same light source is hovering directly over the roof of this apartment building, Woodside Senior Apartments, as early as 7:18 in the morning as a matter of documentation. And also sunlight is not going to appear on the inside, underneath closed blinds on the inside of the apartment. And also there's a covered patio out here. The patio is that which is a structure that would create shade. You're looking at what is the placement of, referred to as sunlight ignorantly, but this is ILA because of the unnatural placement and maintenance of this light, and the character of the light creating a shadow on the ceiling. So look at multiple shadows here. Here it is on the ceiling, and then you also have another shadow here. I've got multiple shadows. This is the light activity you saw inside of the witch. She was a group stalker and a violent sex offender. Okay, this is a shadow that's on the wall, and then this is the additional shadow that's above, and that's not the product of sunlight. And also the sun is not going to be stationary over one address, which is what Woodside Senior Apartments is documented as, and that's a facilitated venue where group stalking is underway, not a private residence that's engaged in any constitutionally protected engagement of what is just living your life. This is federal group stalking monitoring, and the entire property, which represents the people, are group stalking, and they're violent sex offenders who just engaged in the corporate sexual act of what is bathroom monitoring, a perpetual sex offense, where the engineered light is underneath the patio structure. It's a scientific impossibility, not the product of the sun that's above us. You're understanding gymnastics with sunlight. And by the way, it's 2:26, and you already know after 4 p.m. the fake sun is still here. After 5, after 6 p.m. the fake sun is still at Woodside Senior Apartments, and the engineered light remains stationary. And then you have the placement of this engineered light through the closed blinds on the ground. And what you just saw were shadows, my two additional shadows here on top of what you saw above my head. And then we'll show you you can look at the shadow of the doorknob. This is illuminated engineered light. That's just concentrated engineered light, which is what this is. None of it's sunlight. And it's all demonic. All right, this is more engineered light creating the shadow of the patio door, flat on the ground to the sweeping on the inside. That's P.O.C. That's not sunlight. You're recognizing the engineered light that covers the property, and this is the fake sun. You have a property that's full of senior citizens who are violent sex offenders. They are obsessed with my genitalia. They are consuming what's going on inside of a restroom. That's a private space. And this is where the sex offender whose image you've seen her group stalking in this parking lot, driving, and engineer light sweeping across the brick wall. That demon lives in 55, and they are stalking with amplified noise and engineered light under a fake sun that remains here 7:18, 6:27 in the afternoon. An entire police department is group stalking and monitoring my genitalia. The city, the municipality, the city of Ontario, and Ontario International Airport is group stalking. I want you to see engineered light in the shade. That's you right here. In front of what is Avanath Communities. Avanath is the corporate act, the company that's going to be prosecuted because federal group stalking monitoring is occurring on the property of where the Ontario International Airport is group stalking in commercial planes. These are demons that resort to stalking in such unheard of methods. They're flying behind this tree right here. You've been doing that since 2019. Exiting outside of apartment 41 or living in apartment 41 is P.O.C., where you are looking at the intent to maintain elements of monitoring under a fake sun amongst amplified audible activity. So this is documentation of what is bathroom monitoring, and I will expound upon that on the podcast. It is currently 2:28 p.m. This is documentation of the sex offense, the perpetual sex offense committed by an entity that's group stalking you in concert with the people, living in an apartment that's filled with engineered light, opening and closing a refrigerator, opening a microwave, walking back and forth, turning on lights is criminal monitoring, and it's a sex offense as well, and it's what psychopaths engage in and violent sex offenders, and they do so. This represents the police department that's group stalking. This represents the city, the population. All units in 33 through 60 at Woodside Senior Apartments are indeed going to federal prison for the sex offense that they engage in concert with the people. That includes the the demon that's group stalking inside of this apartment, monitoring in real time. All right, this is the sex offender whose name, and will be going to federal prison, P.O.C.